Hello there. Well, it is February now and it's 2026, and as I said back in January, I would do a few videos here for the remainder of this year detailing the book and how it's coming along. And as I mentioned before, it has gone on a little bit further than I expected it to. I had originally planned it to. When I started writing it quite a few years back now, I really only intended to maybe 5 or 6 parts or something like that, 7 parts, not particularly prolonged or anything like that. But as it turns out, I am now starting part 29, and there's probably going to need to be a part 30 to finish it up. So, as I previously said as well, I will probably self-publish it in magazine format or small book formats, Unit 1, Part 1, and Unit 2, Part 2, so forth. And anyway, I'm happy enough with that anyway. And I'll detail Unit 1 or Part 1 for you now. The central character name is Niel San Candor, and that's not his real name. It's a kind of an alias he invented after he moved to France. And he retired in France, and his boss in France kind of decided, well, you've done your bit, you can go home now if you like. And as part of his pension plan, I suppose you could put it, they decided to organise things for him, but in a very kind of how should I put it, what word am I looking for, a not very common way. In other words, it's kind of an unusual way. By design, he goes into homelessness and kind of builds a kind of rundown shack at the back of an old industrial unit, an abandoned industrial unit, and he lives there for several months, and his physical health isn't great. He's kind of got a lot of health problems, and there is some hints towards maybe mental health problems as well, but I didn't wish to run too far into that too soon, because that comes up later on in other units as well. And anyway, I haven't decided whether I will have him adopting a cat or a dog. I'm just thinking with that, because originally I wrote it up as a cat, a stray cat, and he took the cat in to keep himself company more than anything else. I might keep with that, I might drop that, but it depends really on the final kind of when I'm going to do the proofreading and all that, whether or not there's room for that character, the cat character or the dog character, the pet character. I'll decide on that in the last minute really. And anyhow, Niel San Candor, he gets help from the Salvation Army, and he's pretty much living on sandwiches and coffee and tea and soup at that stage, and his physical health is not great. He's lost an awful lot of weight, and that's because of part of what he'd been doing for years as part of his job in France, and he took the toll, you could say. And anyway, he's back in Ireland now, and I'm going to have him situated somewhere in the southwest, maybe Cork or something like that, and he's going to find himself in a council house, and he gets back on his feet. It's not as though he throws in the towel and makes no effort to help himself. That's not the case. He is making an effort to help himself, and the Salvation Army help out. He gets himself a council house and he settles down. Maybe his pet cat, maybe his pet dog. We'll see how that goes out. And basically, the character has some mini victories in the end. It's not as though everything goes wrong and nothing goes right. Many victories add up, and at the end, he finds himself sitting in his council house saying to himself, this is wound up all right. He's happy enough with that. He's content with that. This is fair enough. And that's pretty much how the book actually ends. So it could be part 31, but it is part 1. And part 2 goes way back into his past and starts going on from there. So anyway, that's part 1. I just thought I'd do part 1 today, and that's it. And hopefully the video is, yes, I'm going to try to keep the videos around 5 or 6 minutes, because I don't even think I'm going to look at my own 10-minute videos. I've got a couple of 10-minute videos there, and it's kind of like 2 minutes in, I switch it off. So anyway, there you have it anyway. And I'm out here in my studio doing the video today, actually, the art studio, and it's a little bit dull. I'm not sure how the sound will work out, because it's a small enough room and there might be a little bit of an echo, but we'll see how the video works out anyway after one. And I'll have another video up here in a couple of weeks time again dealing with Unit 2. Okay, so off you go again. Bye bye.